Hello there, darlings. Welcome to the Clockwork Cabaret. This week, the old biddies are talking about their love of animation. Honestly, it explains a lot. And now, on with the show.
Sound of the cuckoo, you know that it is time for the Clockwork Cabaret.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Yeah.
I am Emmett Davenport. 2021.
Sorry, I had to yell that
That's
to
fine.
remind myself because time has lost all meaning.
It's true. I already said it,
and
but
I'm also Lady Attercop.
Yes, she is Lady Attercop. In case you were wondering.
Starting off the year well.
Oh,
new year, new me? No, same old.
We're not. We're set in our ways at this point.
We're old and we're crotchety, and we know how broken we are and how to get around that in a basically functional manner. And so this is the best we can hope for. 2021! Emmett, did you make any New Year's resolutions for the
No, I never do that.
I know you don't. I'm trying to fill time.
Oh, no, I don't do that.
And foster interesting conversation.
This is like small talk. Okay.
Yeah.
No, however, I do not, because I am not a quitter. Some might find it problematic because there's a stubborn assholery level to my stubbornness, but yes, I don't generally do resolutions because for one, I feel way too terrible if I do not do them. If I do not fulfill them, and also two, I think I'm wonderful and perfect just the way I am, and I don't need to change a damn thing. So there, I said it. I'm an egomaniac. No. I am perfect in every way.
Yes, we were certainly not talking about the ways that we are imperfect before the podcast.
No, I think my imperfections are special and make me a unique individual. And so
you don't have to have resolutions. That wasn't a dig.
No.
I actually did. Normally, I don't make a resolution, or I say if I say I do, I make it like a dumb one, like, oh, I'm gonna smoke more and I'm gonna take up smoking and drinking this year. So that when I don't do it, it's like, oh, I guess I didn't follow that through. But I actually did make a New Year's resolution this year.
You did? What is it?
It's the dumbest resolution on the face of the planet.
That's fine.
Because I do not anticipate 2021 being any easier than 2020. So hey, I subscribe to one of those little art kit box sets that every month they send you stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I am definitely one of those persons. I was a poor art student when I was in college. I have always been kind of broke, and so I am an art supply hoarder.
Oh yeah.
And then even when I buy nice things, I'm like, I can't use them. I have to save them. I have to save them for a thing, an important thing.
But
what
is that thing?
The important thing is never coming. It is a non-real future goal. It's a Martha Stewart. It's a Martha Stewart dinner party.
Yes.
I love the idea of a Martha Stewart dinner party. I will never throw a Martha Stewart dinner party. I don't have the ability to plan. I don't have the ability to organize. And I am just
You're really selling this resolution thing.
Well, I mean, I am admitting my
Right.
my feelings here. The concept appeals to me on a very fundamental level. I love the idea of it. I do not possess the skill set in which to execute this ideal. And I think it's okay to admit that.
Do you-
And
do
so
you-
it's okay to admit that there's never going to be a big, important art project that I'm going to do that I need to save. I need all these supplies that I am squirreling away
Well,
like a weird hoarder dragon of colored pencils.
well, wait, Lady Attercop. Do you,
Mm.
when quarantine COVID time is over, do you want to have a Martha Stewart fancy dinner party? Because I'm asking this honestly because I happen to have done those.
I really do. I want centerpieces
Like
and
we can do it. We can do it.
You
I will
say that
organize.
like I have the ability.
No, not you. You don't have to. You just be
Does it
there. You
count?
just be the hostess for the soiree. I will organize it because organizing things like that is my jam.
Oh, and then I just have to be up there and be obnoxious and tell stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna? You wanna?
Okay. Oh no, we should do that.
Because I will
Oh, not very excited. Yes. Okay. So
I will
okay.
organize the hell out of a dinner party. I used to do this. I used to do those with my friend Kevin Andrew, who I love and miss, and he's 2.5 hours away in quarantine in Tarboro, North Carolina. Whereas if you think Pittsburgh, North Carolina is boring, just go there.
It's Tarboro is like Pittsburgh is if it was a tar pit.
It's true. It is.
It's
He,
where hope goes to die.
he refers to it as he refers to it as the vortex. But
I'm bashing Tarboro. I know nothing about it. I'm like, hope goes to die there.
no, they do have a sign that says it's what is it? It's a front porch kind of town.
Oh, that has upsetting connotations.
Yes, yeah, that's
Because when you say it's a front porch kind of town, that makes me think that you've got a shotgun and my kind ain't welcome around here.
yeah. It's also possibly it's a good place to die. I don't know.
That sounds like you best get out the confines of Tarboro before the sun goes down,
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, well, he lives there. It wasn't necessarily his first choice, but that's where he is.
Well.
But he and I used to organize some fabulous dinner parties.
Okay, now I'm very excited because if you're going to actually organize it, because we all
I
know
will organize it.
my ability to organize is non-existent.
But first question is, how many courses do you want to do, and what theme would you like?
My theme is Adam's Family Elegant.
All right,
So
that's perfect.
yes, yeah.
I can
So
do all
like
of
you
that.
know, as elegant as you want, but as also as creepy as you want.
Okay.
And I want to do the decorations. 'Cause
Okay.
that's the part that I want to do.
Okay.
I want to make table settings so badly.
Okay, that's fine.
But this is not related to my New Year's Eve resolution.
No,
But
no.
now I'm very excited about this.
I'm sorry. I
party.
distracted you. I but
Yes.
I got very
Hold on.
excited about the idea because I like organizing things.
Like you know I have ADHD. I cannot be distracted like this.
Sorry.
Like Nicole, let's talk about Martha Stewart. Okay, that's the whole new episode. No.
Okay. No, so your
my
New Year's
resolution.
resolution. The
I
art
have
box.
my little art boxes, and I'm getting all these little fancy art supplies to play with for a month. And my resolution is to use them up, is to ruin those art supplies.
Yeah.
Not save them, not squirrel them away, not keep them for a future project that is worthy of using the nice pens, the nice pencils, and the nice paper. Just on and use them on bullshit.
Yeah.
Use them on doodles and crap and randomness because I need to do that, and I've already started with Rankin Bass style illustrations.
Yes, I know. I'm very excited about it. I feel like it's a good thing.
Yes, if you were if all right, so this may not surprise any of our listeners if they've been paying any kind of attention to us at all ever. young lady Attercop really wanted to be an illustrator. Really wanted to be actually an animator. That was in high school. That was my goal. I really, really, really wanted to be an animator. I could not afford animation school. Yeah, animation school at the time I was looking at it was the closest one was Ringling Brothers and Barnum in, I think it was northern Florida, central Florida. Ringling School of Art and Design.
Oh yeah.
They also had a clown college. Was
Yeah.
not going to go to the clown college. Was going to go to the animation college. But the tuition was out of my price range. I didn't have a portfolio that I felt was up to the task. Although looking back on my high school portfolio, probably would have been fine.
Yeah. Well,
But like I just
they don't expect a lot from high school portfolios, by the way.
I took a lot of life drawing classes in high school.
Yeah.
So probably would have gotten in on the strength
Yes.
of my life drawing portfolio.
Oh yeah.
Period.
As somebody who worked for an art school, I will tell you that the things that I saw coming out of there,
Yeah.
yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, and to be fair to little baby high school age Nicole, my life drawing studies were pretty good. So I probably could have gotten into an animation school on the strength of those, but did not have the money to get into animation school, so I instead went for graphic design.
Oh no, little Emmett was going to go to cooking school.
Yeah.
At one point, and the cooking school that I was going to go to was a very nice, expensive cooking school in Boston. And then I, for one, saw the price tag and also the fact that the last semester you spend waiting tables. And I thought, I'm going to pay for the privilege to wait tables, which is probably what I'm going to have to do in order to pay for going to the school.
$1,000 a year to wait tables?
Which I already do. So,
yeah, and it
no
was
thanks.
also
So, yeah.
It was also a 2-year. It wasn't a bachelor's. It was an associate's, which is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that was what
I wanted to. I also wanted to like take literature courses, and yeah, I was a big old nerd.
Yeah, so now you have the opportunity to just doodle and draw and art your heart out.
Yes. So my point was like I'm an animation nerd.
Yes.
And one of my favorite animation studios growing up was Rankin Bass, because I just really freaking loved Rankin Bass. There's an animator that is doing stuff right now that if you are like me, that you loved Rankin Bass growing up and you have somehow not come across his animations, his name is Ian Worthington. He goes by Worthy Kids on the internet. He's the guy that does the Big Top burgers that I'm constantly
that you're always talking about. Yeah.
Yes, and it's very heavily Rankin Bass influenced, and it's the best thing ever. If you are like me, you need to go watch these. And so I have been shamelessly aping Ian Worthington and drawing Rankin Bass style illustrations.
I think that's completely acceptable. I have actually been really like through quarantine, the thing that has kept me sane weirdly has been watching a bunch of cartoons. I rewatched Gravity Falls. I also just started watching Craig of the Creek.
Oh, I haven't started that one yet.
The second season has just started, just released, and I've already watched a bunch of that. Owl House.
I bullied you until you got.
I know, and it showed up, and I watched it, and I do have no regrets. King is my favorite. I love him.
I really like Adina the Owl Lady.
Yes, yeah, no, I am very on board.
And Mr. Ducky and I can't stop looking at each other and being like, hoot hoot.
Yeah. So I like the fact I am so incredibly jealous of kids that are growing up now with the cartoons that are on because
man.
I would have died for the cartoons that are now on.
I was raised on She-Ra and the crappy My Little Pony, and I still wanted to be an animator.
Yeah.
Like if there had been these cartoons that are out now when I was a kid, I would have spent the $100,000 a semester
Yeah.
and taken the associates at Ringling Brothers.
Yeah.
I keep saying Ringling Brothers
But
like
it's not. It's just Ringling. It's just Ringling.
there was a clown school at the same place.
Yes.
I don't think that clown school exists anymore, but you could either go to Ringling School of Art and Design or you could go to Ringling Clown School. They were both
Yes.
they were both there in Florida at the same time.
That does not surprise me. That seems like a very Florida thing.
Weirdly enough, one of the girls in my hall, she was the roommate of one of my friends in college. She had gone to the Ringling Clown School in Florida and did work for the circus, and occasionally would walk up and down our hall in her stilts so that she didn't lose the ability to walk in them. She was a real bitch. Sorry, no shade to other clowns in the audience, but that girl was a real bitch.
So I don't think I've mentioned. Did I mention the story that I read about Mads Mikkelsen? And
Mads Mikkelsen was a clown?
Kind of. So I was reading an article about. I was reading a little excerpt about this. So random, but also very ADHD.
ADHD.
Yes. So there's a scene in Hannibal in one of the episodes. I don't remember which one. I'm not gonna look it up because we're talking about it right now. But there's a scene where he's supposed to flip an egg and crack it on the edge of a spatula.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that
very show off.
Yeah, it's it's a Japanese steakhouse
Right.
trick that a lot of the chefs there do. And apparently the director and the producers and the writers were all having a big conversation about it, and were like concerned, okay, we're gonna have to get in like some juggling experts and hand model things to do this, because because he's not
right. He's an
because
actor.
He's an actor, we're gonna do this. And so the scene, we've written it, it's very important, blah blah blah. They end up bringing in like a guy that does the crystal ball juggling things, and
like David Bowie's hand double
guy. Yeah, they bring in all of these special people so that they can do this scene for him. And Mads Mikkelsen goes in, flips the egg, hits it cracks it on the edge in the first take. Everyone is standing there staring like, what the hell? And he's like, I used to be a juggler.
We have to say it like the man. Like, no, I used to be a juggler. Yes. He's made way more. I can't do it.
You made him way more Russian
He's
sounding.
Very Russian in this in my fan fiction.
Yes.
Where Russian Hannibal.
but yes, but
I don't even know where I'm going with this.
Yes, but Mads Mikkelsen had been a juggler, and he just kind of left it at that. Like the story that I read was like, it just basically left it there, and I was like, no, that seems about right. I feel like that is a thing.
The enigma he came in.
Yes, yeah, like I feel like that was the energy that was brought to it, where he just said, no, I used to be a juggler. And you don't want to ask any more questions. I mean, you want to ask more questions, but at the same time you don't, because
but it's also clear that's the end of the conversation.
Yes, he is
walked
done
away, and you're like, oh, okay.
But he did it on the first take.
Very good for you, Mads.
I just have so many juggling questions.
So many questions about juggling now, but you will not answer any of them because Scandinavians do not talk.
They do, but you have to
only if you make them.
You have to ask them very, very nicely. And give them pickled fish.
And you have to bribe them with pickled fish. Mads, what do we got? Look, I've got some kippers here.
I've got some pickled fish and some vodka.
You're like dangling in front of them like a cat. Like, do you want to tell me about the juggling?
He does not.
He doesn't.
He will go and lay on this furniture instead.
He's going to walk away and lay on the bag for the cat bed you bought me. He's German. I can't do I can't do that accent.
You
So
can't
now
do
he's
Danish.
just Russian.
He's Danish.
I can't do Danish, so now he's just Russian.
That's fine.
Like
They don't-
I see you bought me beautiful cat bed. Gorgeous, thank you. I walk away, I lay on plastic wrap for bed.
And on that note, I'm going to press a button.
Stop by our dimly lit and unexplainably damp bookstore to peruse and purchase our seething collection of hideous books on any number of uncomfortable topics to include The Organ Slapper's Field Guide, Neighbor Spotting, A Picture Book of Unfortunate Clowns, Hobo Tagging, The Lady's Way to Choke Things, and How to Make a Dog Vomit, Part the First. Shank Street, Unpleasant Used and Rare Books. You know you at least want to look.
So on the subject of Rankin Bass animation,
Let's talk about The Hobbit.
that's exactly what I was going to talk about.
Have you seen the Rankin Bass Hobbit?
A bazillion years ago. I haven't seen it recently.
Pretty good.
I also watched the Lord of the was it the Lord of the Rings? It was the Rankin Bass first stage of the
Yes, they did do a Lord of the Rings movie as well.
All I remember about it is the song, the Frodo of the Nine Fingers song.
Oh, see, all I remember about the Rankin Bass Lord of the Rings attempt was the rotoscoping.
Oh yeah, no. All I remember is
an amount of rotoscoping.
all I remember is Frodo of the Nine Fingers.
People and it dawns on me that maybe not everyone recognizes the Rankin is as keyed into the Rankin Bass animation style as I am.
So I live with Rupert, and I will let you know that Rupert is very keyed into it because he gets real angry about rotoscope.
Well, not just the rotoscoping, but they were also the ones that did The Last Unicorn.
Yes.
Which was one of their other big hits.
Yeah.
I think people just think of them as the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stop motion animation, and don't
think about The Hobbit and the
Hobbit, the Lord of the very bad Lord of the Rings rotoscoping, The Last Unicorn. They also had a Christmas special, which was 2D, which was 'Twas the Night Before Christmas with little mice that destroy the clock tower.
Yeah. Albert Mouse. My favorite.
He wrote a letter to Santa that basically said "fuck off" from the entire village.
Yeah.
And then Santa apparently was a petty bitch, and wrote that village off for the whole entire year.
Yeah.
And I hate the version of Santa in that cartoon because he does not have a mustache.
Yeah, he doesn't. He just has the beard.
Just has the weird Amish beard.
Yes, I remember that.
And distinct round red circle cheeks, and even as a child, it was very upsetting.
Yes, I remember that being
the character design was.
I remember that being questionable, but
the mice were adorable.
Yes,
the people were adorable. The Santa
terrifying. I think whoever animated that might have had an opinion about Santa. Perhaps somebody left coal in their stocking one too many times.
It was someone from the Japanese, because all of the Rankin Bass, both stop motion and 2D animation movies were animated in Japan.
Oh.
There was just some disgruntled Japanese employee who was sick of not seeing their name on the credits. And was like, I'll show these American bastards. I will animate the most terrifying Santa ever committed to celluloid.
I think they also did Rock and Roll, but I'm not positive.
They did not do Rock and Roll.
Oh, but Rock and Roll tried to rip off their animation style.
Yes.
In a creepy, terrifying, adult content kind of way.
Yeah, a lot of there have been a lot of
knockoffs.
There have been a lot of people that have imitated the Rankin Bass style. And there've been a lot of I think there was an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia that did a stop motion kind of Christmas thing.
There's been a couple of those.
Yeah, there've been a couple other TV shows that have done it. The movie Elf does it.
I think Eureka.
Eureka did it. Insofar, the only person that I've seen that has gotten it pretty right is that Ian Worthington, the Worthy Kids. Yeah. Even though nothing about the subject matter is Rankin Bass, the
Right.
style.
Oh, sometimes that's all it matters. Animation, kid stuff, whatever gets you through quarantine times.
Are you still collecting your children's books?
I
Speaking of getting through quarantine times.
I am I don't know if I mentioned this to our listeners before, but I have gone onto a weird and wild, crazy journey into my childhood of trying to track down some of the weird, obscure uh, storybooks.
I think we did talk about that last
Yeah.
week.
Okay. Well, so I've been tracking down the weird and strange childhood children's books that I had when my not to bring down at this moment, but when my mother passed away, I did not get to find out what happened to the books that she had. She had a she had a lot of things from our childhood stored. At one point, she had all of our Fisher Price Little People.
Oh, right.
She
Yeah.
had the whole, like, the only thing we didn't have from the set was the boat, but we had
Oh.
like the farm and the house and the parking
You
garage.
realize there was a parking garage?
Yes, there was a parking garage. We had the construction set. We had everything except for the boat. And
we had the farm.
yes, we had the farm. We had
That
the
was-
barn that would go moo when you opened the door.
The barn that went moo when you opened the door.
Yeah. We had way too many chickens and yeah, no, it was. But she kept she kept collecting and holding on to all of our toys when we grew out of them, because she kept saying, "Oh no, if and when you guys have kids, you might want to also play with these." And little people are great choking hazards.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, with all the lead paint
Yes.
and
Yeah,
the small flies that are choking hazards.
Yeah, they're also really small. Like, the little people now are way bigger.
Because if there is one thing kids love to do, it's pop crap in their mouths.
Yes, well, several of our little people had teeth marks in them from my little sister.
Oh, you know what else I had from little people? I had the Sesame Street set.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And it came with Mr. Hooper, because I'm that old.
Oh, I did not have that one. We did not have the Sesame Street, but we had we had a bunch of the play sets.
But I didn't have the parking garage.
The parking garage was cool because it had the ramp that you could make the cars go down real fast.
Oh, okay. You know what?
Yeah. And we had the train, because you could.
I was thinking the little people parking garage sounded pretty lame, but
No.
sound
It had an
pretty-
elevator. You could take the elevator up to the second floor, and then you
Oh.
would push the cars down the ramp. It was
Okay, that
ridiculous.
does sound cool.
Yeah, it was
I take it back.
ridiculous.
I take back my mocking of the
Yes, but
parking garage.
when she passed, a bunch of our childhood stuff, I did not think about those things, because I was like,
Right.
it was garbage. I don't have children. Who cares? Whatever. But I did greatly miss the books that I grew up with, and so I've been on a search, because a lot of them were very obscure. so obscure.
Yes, we talked about this on the podcast before. The weirdo. We spent a good chunk of time last week talking about your weird, upsetting potential sex crimes doll. So
yes. So we'll just end with talking about the weird books. No, so I actually have a collection. I have one more book I'm waiting for, and I actually might order another one of my weird book collection. But I have almost gotten all of them back into my possession. They're not my books.
No.
Which is fine. I don't need my books. Also, wherever those books are, I don't want to know. I'm actually kind of hoping that my sister has them, but we're not talking right now. So, but I have all of the books, and so I would like to next week. I would like to start an Emmett Davenport story time.
Where you read excerpts from your bizarro children's books?
Yeah, well, because honestly, I've been a little afraid to read them. Because these are from the 70s, if not the 60s. And
yeah, and looping back on our earlier conversation about animation, if there is one thing that the 60s and 70s have taught us, it's that it was a time period where they tried to make things as upsetting as humanly possible for children.
Well, yeah, and also it's one of those things of like I have very, very fond and wonderful memories of all of these books. Like these were integral to making me me. However, I'm slightly worried that as an adult I'm going to read these and go,
oh,
why was this a thing?
Why did you think this was okay for children?
Yes, so I'm
the Raggedy Ann and Andy movie comes to mind.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
It's
there
a
was
nightmare of 1970s animation.
well, there was so many cartoons and animation things that like movies that
Yeah.
definitely tormented me. I mean, I still have a horrible, horrible, horrible fear and slight loathing of bunny rabbits because of Watership Down, the animated film.
Yeah.
I saw the movie before I read the book, and
Tormented.
and I was a small wee child that was dropped. That was the first movie I went to by myself, like with another child. My best friend Abigail and I, as children, got dropped off at the movie theater to go see Watership Down because animated movie about bunnies. How bad? Like it's gonna be great. We then came out of there, broken, dejected, sad, and
Tormented
children who sat on the curb waiting for her mother in silence.
Crying to yourself. I mean, to be fair, I think the first movie I went to see by myself with my siblings was Land Before Time.
Oh, which also
has, yeah, which has an extended sequence about mom death
and extinction, if I remember.
In the rain. It's right. Like, you think Mufasa dying is bad, children? No, we were already long dead before that. Then because of Land Before Time.
Oh, I've forgotten. I think I blocked that movie out.
Yeah. It's raining, and the dinosaur baby finds his dead mom. It's like there's a whole scene.
Yeah, well, in Watership,
please get up. It's in
Watership Down. It's the war, the rabbit war, where
I believe the mom fights a T-Rex.
Yeah, well, in Watership Down, there's another rabbit rips the throat. Yeah. Another rabbit rips the throat out of a rabbit.
It's a movie about war. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's rough. It's rough, and yes, and this I want to say I was 7 or 8, 9. I don't remember when it came out. I was a young innocent babe when I watched that movie. I came out of there a sad broken human.
You had a mortgage when you got out of there.
It was
I'm sorry, Cheryl. I know that you wanted me to go to the park, but I can't. I gotta go to work.
It was just I just remember it because I remember Abigail's mother driving up to pick us up, and we were both sitting on the curb and we were silent. And I think we were holding each other's hand, silently sitting there because it was because it was so intense and upsetting, and that when her mom drove up and we got in the car and she was like, "How's the movie?" And we were both just like, "It was fine."
He called her by her first name. It was fine, Martha. I mean, our innocence died today, but
yeah, I think
you asked her about her mortgage rates. You're like, what's your APR?
Yeah, I really hope your
Who
insurance is good.
yeah. Who do you have your car insured for? Because I'm thinking
And
my
she's
rates
like,
are too high.
"You're 8. Why are you asking me this?" Well,
I've
I've s-
more change as a child,
I've
Martha.
seen a lot. I've seen a lot,
Wait,
Martha.
did I change her name in the middle of the sketch? Martha, your name is Martha now.
I, d- I don't even remember. I actually don't remember what Abigail's mom's name was, so it's okay.
Mrs. Abigail.
Mrs. Abigail.
I as as an adult, as like a 30-year-old adult, I my mom is still friends with my best friend's mom from when I was like like 11.
Hmm.
They live on the same street, they're still friends, they still see each other from time to time. So one of the times I was visiting my mother, she's like, "Oh, I'm going to go visit Mrs. So and so. Let's go stop by and say hi." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, sure." We've gone to her house, we're sitting around, we're having small talk, we're all drinking wine, we are adult women having a conversation with one another. And at one point, my best friend from childhood's mother turns to me and goes, "You know, you can call me Cynthia." I looked at her and I just went, "No, no, I cannot." Just, nope. I know that I am 30, but I cannot call you Cynthia. That is not happening today. Sorry, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. So that's really funny because I've had the opposite reaction to people.
Where you did call her Cynthia. You're like, "Cynthia, what's this vineyard? This is good."
Yeah, no, I've actually had the opposite. Well, as a child.
That's when you turn to Barbara and you went, "I'm sorry, Barbara, but
I've
or
I
change a woman."
I've actually I was actually called out as a small child because I referred to an adult person uh as their given first name, and they proceeded to let me know that that was not appropriate and that they should call me, you know, that I should call them Mrs. something or other. And I was like, because it's a sign, and what was it? It's a sign of respect. And I went, "But I don't know you. How do I know to respect you? I just met you, but you were introduced to me as being Barbara."
I'm sorry, Barbara, but if you didn't want me to, I just imagine tiny 7-year-old you looking over your retirement papers and like, "Oh, God, man, the investment return on this is just crap. Look at this, Barbara. Look at this crap they're showing me." And they're like, I'm sorry, but you are a small child, and my name is Mrs. Butterworth." And you're like, "Barbara, that's the name of a syrup.
Yes. Well, no, I just
Get some
remember.
self-respect. Your husband is cheating on you." And then you lit a slim cigarette.
And you have just summed up my childhood. Well, no,
One of those skinny ones from the 80s that ladies smoked.
well, no, I have to admit that I have always had a really hard time with the titles of people, with the Mr. and Mrs. and all that stuff, because I did not grow up with that. And so when people
Ah.
ask me to refer to them by that, it's always weird because it's like, what? I'm sorry, I was homeschooled. I had mom and I had pop and I had sister.
I called my teacher Mom, so now titles are just kind of strange.
Yeah, so like, I don't know what all of this Mrs. Webster is.
I
What
I
is
have
your first name, Mrs. Webster? Lorna. All right, Lorna. I would
Lorna,
like
come here.
to I would like you to give me an A plus on my English test, because obviously I deserve it.
And while you're at it, Lorna, could you look over my portfolio?
Yes, could you
I just don't
please?
trust my investment broker.
Also, I would
might
like
read
to
those
plan a
old things.
vacation, and so do you know a good
I have
travel agent?
a budget of $5,000, Lorna. Who would you recommend to me?
Yes. Also, where do you think I should go to?
And can I
Oh,
smoke this tiny slim cigarette inside? It is candy, but
oh,
I am going to light it on fire.
you're a geography teacher. That's not what you do. All right, I'm sorry.
You're
I
right.
was misinformed.
I thought
I figured that you had access to maps. You would
I thought your
know.
geography teacher had traveled. My mistake.
Yes, yes. I also
I
just
have
thought,
to. I have to go. I have a meeting at 5.
yes. I think you've summed up my childhood pretty much.
Can you validate my parking?
My tricycle is right up back.
My tricycle's right out front, and I'm just not gonna pay those valet prices. I'm telling you
So
what,
much.
Lorna.
Also, I
That's
parked
how
it.
they get you.
I parked it myself.
I
That valet was busy.
like the look of him. I didn't trust him.
I didn't want to bother him. I feel like
I like this small '80s business child.
I feel like I straightened my tiny tie.
You're tiny. You fluffed up your giant shoulder pads on your power suit, straightened your tie, pulled down your pencil skirt, and went, Lorna, I have got to jet. You know how it is. Like, I'll call you, a little hand signal, and then you were out the door.
Yes. Honestly, I actually wore overalls a lot.
Overalls don't have the same gravitas as giant shoulder pads.
It's true, they don't. And also, when you try to mix shoulder pads with overalls, it's just not a good look.
It goes weird. And a tie. It's a strange look.
I mean, I would wear a tie with overalls, don't get me wrong. But the shoulder pads.
Hold on. I've never done that. Suddenly I'm contemplating the possibilities.
What? You just need a sleeveless
Business farmer.
button-down shirt with a tie under your overalls. There you go.
Business farmer.
Yeah.
You know I'm a true crime aficionado. I have seen people show up to court in overalls. But I would not call it a business look.
It's not a business look unless you do it right. You gotta do it right.
They were doing it wrong.
Yes, yeah. There's a right and wrong way to wear overalls.
Wear overalls to court.
For court. First, you gotta have a tie.
Second, you have to have shoulder pads.
Also, a collar. No, shoulder pads are a little too much. They just look weird. But a collar with the tie. You can't put a tie and a t-shirt.
Or a wife beater.
Yes.
Sleeves are a must.
Some sleeves. You could have quarter length sleeves. It's fine.
No, don't wear quarter length sleeves.
Cap sleeves. I want some bell poofy sleeves.
Interesting. Look, we've got cap sleeves, collared shirt, overalls, tie, blazer. Yes, no. Put the shoulder pads in the blazer.
The blazer could have shoulder pads.
There you go.
That's where the shoulder pads go.
That's where the shoulder pads come in.
And then combat boots.
Combat boots, and because it is court, briefcase.
Yes. There you go.
So it ties the whole look together.
Also, I feel like that also might describe an agricultural professor.
Agricultural lawyer.
Yes.
I might just be a simple country agricultural lawyer.
Also, where I grew up in Vermont, there was a cow college, and I'd like to think that everyone who taught there, that's how they dressed.
I mean, I thought I had taken the cake with the clown/animation school, but cow college.
Yeah, they specialize in it's an agrarian. It's all about being a farmer raising cows.
Well, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, that seems far more normal than clown college
in Vermont.
Again,
because that's where the cheese is.
That's where the cheese is. That's where the cows have to be. Yeah. This is Florida. Florida is land
where the clowns are.
Yeah, so yeah, okay. No, again, makes sense. Yeah, land of the clown, land of the carnies.
Isn't that where the clowns go for the winter?
It's also where the Ren fairs go for the winter. To take that as you will. It's where everything goes for the winter.
The birds.
The birds, clowns. The carnies, the clowns, the Ren fairs.
I lived next door to carnies for a little while. I mean, they didn't start off
I lived with clowns for a little while, so ooh.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't start off as carnies. That actually, I watched them.
That's weirder.
I watched them evolve into carnies.
Yeah, see, at least the clowns I lived with were clowns when I moved in and clowns when I moved out. That is stranger.
Yeah, they were our next door neighbors when I lived in Vermont. And they had a tilt-a-whirl in the backyard at one point. Yeah, no, it was very weird because they did not do that before.
Did they ever just set it up for just
No,
random
they
block
didn't.
parties?
I wish they would.
What's
I mean,
the
I wouldn't
what
go
is
on a
even
tilt-a-whirl.
the point?
I don't know. It was just there, and it was weird.
Mm.
And I was friends with the oldest daughter, and she was very embarrassed about it.
Okay, so
So what?
I don't want to make judgments here because I know a lot of Rennies, and I know a
Yeah.
lot of people that live like different kinds of lifestyles than most people would consider quote unquote normal. But like I really want to ask how weird they were. Like, how weird were they?
They weren't all that weird. That's why being a carny was so weird, because they didn't seem that weird. And we lived there, so that's where I lived in Springfield, Vermont. Um we lived next door to them for like I want to say 6 or 7 years, and they hadn't been if they had been carnies before that, was not aware, because it
They
was
didn't
only
have a
in the
tilt-a-wheel.
yeah, it was only in the last year or two or more. It was like 2 or 3 years, because it was after poor Faith graduated from high school. After she graduated from high school, that was when the tilt-a-whirls showed up. And
Imagining that kid coming home from college,
yeah,
like pulling, like, oh man, it's so good to be home for summer break. You pull in, and you're like, why is there a fucking tilt-a-whirl in the
Yeah.
backyard?
that's
Dad, why is there a dad?
that was kind of the conversation that I believe happened, because there was definitely I do remember Faith coming over next door to my house and knocking on the door and going, when did that happen?
Yeah, when did the tilt-a-whirl exactly end up in the backyard?
And I was like,
I have,
oh,
I have several questions.
it started in the summer, like springtime. I don't know. I don't stare in your backyard.
I don't know. Just one day I looked over, there was a tilt-a-whirl there.
I was slightly curious and wondering what it was. So
I
I
was
did
wondering
go.
if they were
I
gonna set
did.
it up.
I did go over and ask your brother, what what is that? And he told me it's a tilt-a-whirl and it'll be $20. And then I went, nope, nope.
Oh.
I don't like amusement park rides, and I left.
It'll be $20 or 15 tokens. And I didn't
Yes.
have tokens at the time, Faith. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I didn't ask further. I didn't want to investigate anymore because I don't like those kind of rides. So that was that was the end of my adventure.
I cannot imagine coming home from college and finding out your parents have become carnies while you've been gone. Be like, I leave for what? What?
Yeah, no, I will say it was in her first or second year no, it was in her first year of college that she did come home to find, and she was a year ahead of me, possibly two. And I do remember that she came back and was very like, what is this?
I leave for one semester.
I'm going
and
to
this is the shit
college.
we get up to.
I'm going to college trying to better myself, and this is what you do. What is going on? That's all I remember. But I did find it really funny, though.
There's a pony ride. And slowly her house becomes a circus.
I wish I would have stayed there if there had been a
You're like,
circus.
I wouldn't have moved out.
I would not have left that house.
You would
So,
have.
I would have, because I don't like winter.
And also, like I said, lived with clowns. Yeah, you'd have left.
And
They have
with
needs,
that,
dark needs, dark clowny needs.
oh, and on that note, if you like this thing that we do,
If you like our dark steampunk needs,
this weird show that I'm sure this was just as weird when we had music. I really would like
but
to think.
we could fool ourselves into thinking it was more normal because then we broke it up a little bit with songs in between. But
Yes,
no, this has always been the show.
It has. I know. But if you like this thing that we do, you can be a part of it by going to agonyauntstudios.com and supporting it via PayPal, Patreon, Coffee. You can give us music recommendations for the music portion
Ooh,
of
yeah.
the show, which you can listen to at mixcloud.com/that darling DJ duo. You can just give us random suggestions of what you want us to talk about, because we have highly gone off the rails.
You see where we go when left to our own devices.
Yes, this is what happens. If you want to give us 5-star ratings on Apple Podcasts, you can do that, or Stitcher, or wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. That would be awesome. That helps get us up on the algorithm, because algorithms are tricky monsters. If you want to follow us on social media, you can do that by going to Lady Attercop at Twitter and Instagram, or Emmett Davenport at Twitter, and Mad Spinstress at Instagram. You can also follow the show itself at Clockwork Cabaret, with the O removed in work. And all that's listed on our website.
Oh yeah, and thank you to everyone who showed up on New Year's Eve for our live stream of the socially distanced Clockwork Ball.
Yes. Yeah.
It was
weird, but we had fun.
It was strange, and there was some Twitch glitches, which hey, we're not responsible for their platform, so I don't have to talk nice about it. But like, no, we really appreciated everybody that showed up and everybody that chatted with us in the chat box, or just contacted us on social media to let us know that they were listening. It was really nice. It was it doesn't replace the live in-person experience, but it was a nice bright spot in an otherwise terrible year.
Yeah, and hopefully next year we'll get to do it live and in person with everybody, because that would be nice. I miss everybody.
Yeah, it was bittersweet seeing some familiar faces pop up in the chat box instead of in person. But and we had a slideshow, and there were several people that were like, "Oh, this slideshow is hurting my heart."
Yes,
it was all photos from past Clockwork Balls.
It's true. I wanted to give emotional responses.
Yeah, but it was very nice. I did want to say that several people have contacted us and let us know that they listened and they really enjoyed it. So I wanted to give a thanks to anybody who
and we'll try and do something like that again while we're still in quarantine forever.
Forever and forever. And now that we've done it once, maybe we won't be so anxious about it.
Yes, there is always that possibility. And with that, we will bid you adieu. And we will say, this has been the Clockwork Cabaret. She is Lady Attercop.
And she's Emmett Davenport.
And it's not work we do.
It's love.
Are you tired that your extraordinary contraptions fly apart when you apply the power? Do you get frustrated with the big ship that keeps dropping parts, making you wonder why you built it? Are your best made cogs dead because you haven't tightened them down enough? Well, you need spanners, my friend. Darn good ones, too. Come on down to Walsenberg's Hardware Shop at Abernathy Square for all the finest tools and fasteners. They're good as new.
Thank you.
Remember, folks, Walsenberg's Hardware on the northeast corner of Abernathy Square. Tell them Cosgrove sent you.